So to measure the clearance between the bearings and the crankshaft, I've just simply put the bearings in underneath here, and I've laid the crank in and then put the bearing into number 4 bearing cap. And you use this stuff, it's called Plastigauge. It is basically a thin piece of wax that looks like fishing line, and you just cut a piece, lay it in here, put your bearing cap in and torque it down to the specs that it would normally be at. Then take it back off and you measure how far this is spread out, how far it's smashed the Plastigauge. And you can see it here on the cap, and you can also see it on the crankshaft. So I mean, this one measured to be 0.038 millimeters, which is really good. It's right in the middle of the range. It's from 0.02 to 0.05 is where you need to be within accepted tolerance or clearance. So I'm going to measure the rest of these. If everything checks out, I'm going to clean the Plastigauge off the wax and then go ahead and put the crank back in here. So I'll show you how I did this with this one here. Okay, so here it is. Just lay it across. You want it to be straight across. Okay. So we'll keep the paper there for the gauge. And now 1, 2, this is going to be number 3. Make sure you have number 3. It's kind of hard to see there, but it is there. So that's number 3. And then we're going to put a bearing inside here. Make sure you line up the tongues. Okay. And I have cleaned these out with brake parts cleaner. So these have been cleaned out already. Okay, then place this right on top of the Plastigauge. I'm going to add just a little bit of oil to our threads. It's just motor oil. Whenever I change my motor oil, I like to keep the cans and just put the lid on, turn them upside down, and whatever gathers at the bottom, you know, in the lid or whatever, you can oh, that's not right. You can put that in your oil can. Okay, finger tight first. I'm just going to alternate side to side. You should hear this thing pop into place sometimes. Okay, so another 70 degrees. Out there. And another 70 here. Be about that much there. Okay. I'll pop these back out. Okay, so there's your stripe. You can see that now. And then just use the Plastigauge gauge. Fold it here. Okay, so that's 0.051. So that's right at the minimum amount of tolerance here for the minimum amount of clearance. Yeah. So it's right on the edge. I think it'll be alright though. So I'm going to do that for the rest of these, and then once I put the pistons in, I'm also going to do it for the pistons as well.